Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Late to the party like I always am. But that doesn't mean there's nothing left to say about Modulo chapter 12. A lot of things are happening. It's been crazy. This manga literally feels like getting hit multiple times and then a freaking slap across the face. So let's get started with the chapter. At the end of the previous chapter, we saw Bodo crying from his third eye, explaining to Osuki and another group of Vermilions that he saw humans killing a Kalyan in Tokyo. So this chapter takes over that immediately, with Usami, Cross, Gemalova, and Mino talking about this same topic. Obviously, the humans tell them that there are no Kalyans in Earth, but once Gemalova explains that this happened in Tokyo, Usami kind of understands what's happening. Then we get a scene with Maru, Tsurugi, and Yuka. They are working on the barriers around Kyoto. This chapter is like showing us multiple perspectives, so it's gonna keep changing scenes. They are explaining to Maru that after the whole thing about cursed spirits was made public because, you know, of the mess that happened after Shibuya and Shinjuku, the government lied and told the people that these things only appear in Tokyo. The Area Zero, known as the Inhuman Makyo, it was mentioned in the very first chapter, which is the area where Sukuna pretty much had his tournament and where obviously he fought Gojo. So with time, the lie became a reality and all the cursed energy leaking from humans manifested mostly in that area. But of course, every now and then a cursed spirit will randomly pop up like in other areas, which is why they need to maintain the barriers. On top of that, every certain time of the year, Jujutsu sorcerers do like a massive exorcism in Tokyo to prevent any cursed spirits from leaving that area. I want to make a parenthesis here because Tsurugi mentions that students don't participate in those exorcisms. They're not allowed and they're not called for them. Even when Jujutsu sorcerers are still like understaffed, they don't put those children in risk because it's obviously like a highly dangerous zone. See how Gojo changed things for everybody? My blue-eye king, you would be so freaking proud. So as they're explaining this, we get another change in scene and we get this beautiful double page of the Inhuman Makyo. This is the very first time we see it. Again, it was mentioned in the first chapter, but this is the first time that we see it. This is Tokyo after the fight against Sukuna and after years and years of all the cursed energy leaking out from humans. The art is just amazing. And it really gives you the horror vibes and how gruesome cursed spirits can be. This is what I thought all of Jujutsu Kaisen was going to be when I started to watch the series. And it wasn't. I mean, it's not bad, but it makes me happy that they did this for this chapter. Here we see this annoying guy from chapter 10, I believe. His name is Yakumaru and he is participating in this massive exorcism that Yuka and Tsurugi were talking about. Basically, it's just a bunch of Jujutsu sorcerers hunting down a bunch of cursed spirits. Him and another Jujutsu sorcerers are doing their thing and they go inside a building and please look at these panels. The art here is everything to me. I love it so much. This is what I like. It's my thing. So they noticed that there are a lot of low-grade cursed spirits gathering in that specific building and they think that something might be attracting them. And as they walked, they start to hear a voice saying things like, "Where do you come from? Oh, poor thing. But you are a good boy." Yeah, very weird. And when they finally reach the room, they see this. The most unsettling panel I've seen in quite some time. Osuki with a freaking cursed spirit, treating it as if it was some kind of animal, some kind of pet. It delivers. Absolutely, like the intent was to make this entire thing as uncomfortable as possible. And that's what it did. So we go back to Usami and the rest, and this is where we learned that Kalyans and cursed spirits are not the same thing because Kalyans have a physical body and cursed spirits don't. They vanished once they die and like cameras can't even get them and things like that. So Usami and everybody else is trying to reach Tokyo because they need to stop the ritual of purification before this, gets ugly. We get another jump in scenes and we're back to Yuka, Tsurugi, and Maru. They're still explaining the details on how the whole thing with the ritual and the barriers work. They still use cursed objects, of course. So we also get a little bit of lore on how this whole warriors thing works for the Romillions. And he explains that it's not a matter of you wanting to become one. A Kalian has to choose you when you're born in order to become a warrior. And not all Kalians can do such a thing. It has to be one specific Kalian that the Romillions have been worshipping for over 2,000 years. He even says that this Kalian gives them their middle name. And honestly, all I can think of is freaking Mahito. I'm really scared of the possibility of the Romillions seeing him as a freaking god or something. I'm probably gonna make a short video just like yapping about this because it bothers me a lot. But anyways, we have another change in scene and we're back in Tokyo. Usami and the rest arrived already, but stupid freaking Yakumaru is already fighting the Romillions. And he's pointing at the Romillions, what I assume it's a cursed tool shaped like a gun. And Usami intervenes and he stops everybody with his cursed speech. He tells them that the ritual has been suspended, that they need to stop everything that they're doing, and freaking Yakumaru gets angry because he's a freaking idiot. And Usami explains that the humans not only failed in providing sufficient information about the cursed spirits to the Romillions, but that they also have been hiding or holding information regarding Jujutsu. Basically what he's saying is that this whole thing of the Romillions protecting the cursed spirits and interfering with the ritual is nothing more than a big misunderstanding caused by the lack of honesty from humans. On the side of the Romillions, everybody's fighting and yelling too. Cross is trying to explain to Osuki that cursed spirits are not Kalians, and that if they were, the tears from the third eye would have been too much for them to handle. He also points out at the fact that cursed spirits don't have a physical body. And here Osuki responds with something that is very interesting to me, and that is, even still, you could hear their voices too, couldn't you? We know that cursed spirits can't speak unless they're a very high grade like Mahito and Jogo. So the fact that he says that they can hear their voices, it makes me feel very uncomfortable. When I was reading it and he said that he could hear their voices, and when I saw the panel where he was talking to one of these, it's just, I don't know how to explain what it made me feel. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that they say that they can hear the voices of the cursed spirits. So Cross begs to Osuki to please calm down, to please keep it together and not make this a bigger issue. And I swear to you, my heart broke in this moment. It just shattered. Usami apologizes because at the end of the day, all of that was the fault of the humans for not sharing all the information with the Romillions. And stupid Yakumaru gets angry again because Usami is apologizing and because he got a freaking cut on his cheek. He's looking at the Romillions, he sees Cross moving his hand, and we get another scene. See, they were playing with the scenes from the very beginning. They were showing us different perspectives, and there's a very good reason for that. It's not just shocking value to kind of make you stay on edge and paying attention. No, there's something more to this. But in this other scene, we get this panel. I have a short video talking a little bit about it. I'm gonna leave it in the notes if you want to check it out. I'm gonna go super quick over this. Maru, Tsurugi, and Yuka are happy talking about, the possibility of Romillions helping Jujutsu sorcerers doing their job, because at the end of the day, they're always understaffed. And they say goodbye to each other, and each one of them takes their own path. There is so much to unpack on that freaking panel, but again, that's on my short video. Here, I'm just gonna leave the comparison with it. This is from the ending of Hidden Inventory. I think just by looking at it, you can get an idea of what is going to happen. I think you don't really need an explanation. We go back to Tokyo, and this is a panel that we get. Yakumaru, using the stupid excuse that Cross was reaching for his weapon, shot him. The manga is obviously not going to tell you with all the words, but it's blatant racial profiling and police brutality. That's what it is. What makes it even worse is the fact that this man didn't even shoot the guy that hurt him, which was the reason why he was so angry, even if it was just like a stupid cut in the cheek. No, he shot the one that was asking for peace, that was trying to calm everybody, meaning that he doesn't even see the Vermilions as individuals. To him, they're all the same, and it couldn't matter more if he shoots one or the other. That is how bad this entire thing is. It's not putting all the words there, but it's giving you everything for you to see that. Obviously, after this happened, people are getting ready to start fighting again when a presence makes them all freeze. Dabura is there. I think I mentioned this in the previous video. I'm gonna say it again. Dabura doesn't want conflict, doesn't want to fight a war. That's very obvious. But his mission there is to protect the Vermilions and of course Maru and Cross, more importantly, because that's what Dura asked of him. And if he needs to fight in order to do it, he won't hesitate. So, I'm so angry at all this. When I read the chapter, I genuinely couldn't believe it. I had to go through it like multiple times to make sure I was processing everything correctly. And I wanted to cry so bad, and I wanted to freaking throw my phone away against a freaking wall. I was livid. Because why Cross? We have seen his struggle, the fact that he was really trying his best to believe again, to fight for peace, and this is what he freaking gets. We also get the huge contrast between the reality that Cross has been living in compared to the reality that Maru has been living in. Which is one of the reasons why they like change scenes the way they did, especially that last one. Maru was having fun, making friends, while Cross was fighting the actual battle, so Maru could continue in the way he was going. And that's probably why at the beginning he was kind of bitter towards him, because to Maru everything was so easy. He was not there in the meetings, he was not listening to the side of the Vermilions that wanted a war and the reasons, and he wasn't there with the other side of the Vermilions that were expecting, you know, to actually find a home. And it's probably the reason why when Maru is unconscious fighting Tsurugi, he was like, if Maru has to be the victim, let it be. Because that's also another thing that hits me. It's the fact that Cross at the beginning, he wanted a victim. He wanted somebody to die or somebody to get injured, to get hurt, so they could start a conflict, so they could have a reason to start a war. And he ended up becoming that victim when he no longer wanted a war. That's what hurts me the most. Until the manga doesn't show and say with all the letters that he is dead, I will not accept it. Remember Nobara, guys. Please remember Nobara. Another moment like that. That's what I believe in. That's what I believe in. He's coming back. He's still alive. Until the manga doesn't say like, hey, Cross is dead. Let it go. I will not accept it. I'm super afraid of the next chapter, and I'm definitely not prepared for it. I don't want it to be Sunday. Like, if I'm being honest, I don't want it to be Sunday. It's a hit after a hit, and I understand because at the end of the day, the manga is short. It's a short story. But Jesus Christ, it's so freaking hard. I knew somebody was gonna die, but I didn't want it to be Cross. I genuinely didn't want it to be Cross because I mentioned, and I believe it was the summary for chapter 10, I said that like Cross was probably gonna have like a very rude awakening if things were gonna go south, right? I thought he was gonna be the one that was gonna, you know, have this breakdown, and now it looks like it's gonna be Maru because of the image of this panel that I told you about. Maru would be Suguro in this one. So I genuinely was not expecting Cross to be the victim. I knew there was gonna be a victim. I never thought it was gonna be Cross. And I should have known because of all the things that I already told you about the fact that he wanted, you know, a victim, that he was really trying his best to maintain the peace and to seek coexisting with the humans. I should have known. I should have freaking known. As if I didn't know Gege Akutami's writing already. But yeah, that is all for today's video. Thank you very much for reaching this part of the video, like all the way to the end. It was just me raging, but thank you very much. It really means a lot. It helps me a lot if you watch the entirety of the video. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and to follow me on all my social media. The links are going to be in the description. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!